So welcome to our spoilers review of The Forgetting by Sharon Cameron. I like this book, I enjoyed it. Was it the best thing I've ever read? No, not really, but I enjoyed it.
I think it really depends on how many dystopian books you have read and in a concentrated time period, you know? If you have just read 6 dystopias, you'll be like, ugh.
But if it's been a while, you're gonna be like, okay.
I definitely harkened back to a lot of other books. That was another thing where I'm just like, I've heard this story about 1,000,000 times. It's good! You're telling it well. It kind of makes it more predictable in a way, you know? It's just like, oh, you're in a city that no one's been outside. Well, this could go 3 different ways. They're on an alien planet!
And considering that they've got 30 days of day and then 30 days of night.
At first I thought they were in the Arctic.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm like, oh, haha, something bad happened to the world and we're up here and we're isolated and blah 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 blah. And then it was like, oh, we're on an alien planet. We're so and so far away from Earth. And I'm just like, okay, this was an experiment.
Yeah, a little bit Allegiant. Basically, trying to farm out society. We
Make
can't
a
live
perfect
here.
Society.
Also alive in that sense.
Kind of reminded me of this little known movie called Dark City where it's like an experiment. It's a portion of humanity that has been removed from the earth by these creepy alien things, and every night they reset everyone's memory. So this one guy, something happens that he realizes that this is happening, and so he starts to remember all of his previous days, and I'm just like, I wonder if she saw this movie. You know, I wonder if that was
one of those things.
One of the inspirations of I wonder what I can do with memory. And then The Purge.
Forgetting is coming, let's go crazy!
What do you want to do that you don't want to remember you did?
Yeah. Things that I really liked about this book is the fact that the forgetting was not a planned thing.
Yeah, I like that too.
I really like that because it's not oh, this has a reason and a purpose and it's really, really smart. It's no. This is some weird phenomenon. We have no idea why, but it's really screwing with us and we'd like it to stop now, guys.
But at the same time, the fact that they figured it out and just this one crazy person is just no, I like it this way better, Dad, stop it.
Think of it, she's king, there's nobody who can challenge her.
I know, but it would get so boring.
She's gone a little nuts, is what it is. Driven her a little bonkers.
Our main character, we meet her, she is just coming back from Avenger. She's worried that someone's gonna catch her. Jonathan of the council is right near where she is, and she's like, if he catches me, he's gonna flog me. And blah blah blah, he's such an evil bastard. His mother doesn't want us doing all these awful evil things, but he does it because he wants to put fear in us and blah blah blah. I hate him. So it's just okay, Jonathan, we can't trust Jonathan. That's
Jonathan is no.
Yeah, we don't trust him. And so when she's coming back, she's seen by this guy who's her age, and it's okay, well, take me over next time and I won't report you. And she's all oh, okay.
Turns out it's Gray and she has beef with him. She's listen, you were a little bitch when we were kids. He charms everyone, he is not going to charm me. Not going to charm me.
Oh, honey.
Nope.
Oh, this is the first guy you spoke to in a YA novel.
You're done.
You're so doomed.
You're done, son. So yeah, of course, they inevitably start falling in love. She starts to trust him more. They have a kind of will they, won't they. Basically, what they decide that they need to do is they need to find the first book. And the first book is basically only read by the head councilwoman on certain days when they tell them all the rules that have been set down.
So everyone has a book with them at all times. Think of it like the most intense journal you have ever kept in your life. It's your blog, it's your journal. You write the truth and nothing but the truth. So when you forget, you can go through and be okay, so my name is Alexandra. I like the color blue. My favorite food is sushi. And I
I'm married and have 5 kids.
Oh yeah, I'm married. It's crossed out. But I have 6 children and I'm a weaver. Alexandra the Weaver is stuck with this guy who according to my book, I'm married to, and these are my children, even though I don't know any of them and I have no emotional attachment. But I still can remember how to weave.
I guess different areas of your brain.
You still remember how to read.
That would be so difficult.
You just have hieroglyphics, think it's a bird. I think I like birds.
Awkward hieroglyphics. I'm married to this guy.
The stick figure. Nope, sorry. That one.
Well, I hope it's that one anyway.
So it's a really, really interesting premise, and it kind of gave me flashbacks to 1984 because it's the whole your book is the truth, you can only write the truth. But of course, people are finding ways to manipulate that. So say I'm married to Brian, the brewer or whatever.
Okay.
And I don't like Brian because Brian was cheating on me with Chelsey, the scribe. So I go into my book and I'm like, cross out his name, and I have a crush on Joshua the bricklayer, and I'm just like, I am married to Joshua. And then I have to trick him to putting my name in his book, and bam.
Married.
We're married now!
Yeah, so there's like a lot of ways you can screw with the system. Nadia herself got kind of screwed because during her first forgetting, her father destroyed her book and her sister's book and her mother's book, erased himself from their lives, and gave them new books about their past, and like disappeared, and she's the only one who remembers.
So she has to see him in town every single day.
And he's married, and he has like a new set of kids, and he doesn't remember her at all, doesn't remember what he's done, and she has no idea why he did it. Just, she kind of assumes he's an asshole.
And it's funny because they interact randomly throughout the book, and he's like, you don't like me much.
And she's like,
So they get their hands on the first book, and they go over the wall, and they find a spaceship, and she has a bracelet with the code, the entry code. So they go in and they start learning about their society and why their city is the way it is, and they find out why the forgetting happens. And it's because there are these trees that every 12 years they release a spore. There's a meteor or something that passes over, a comet. It's like it's the radiation caused by that causes these pods to break open, and then everybody gets inflamed brains because of the spores, and that causes them to forget.
yeah, and there are some people who are more immune. People in Nadia's family have been more immune, and then there's one other person who is the head councilwoman who's been like the puppet master the whole time, reading everybody's books and like manipulating people, and like
she's found a way to like weaponize the pollen so that she can make people forget stuff, and she's also found a cure so she can make people remember stuff.
but she's more of that.
So what she could basically do is like to coerce someone, she could kidnap them, torture them, make them forget that she's tortured them, release them back into society, bring them back a few days later, make them to remember that she tortured them, and continue the torture session.
She's got this like rigged.
It's really messed up.
It's really twisted. And
Yeah.
that was one of the things I really liked, is because of one of the ways she ends up torturing Gray is, yeah, she does that. She'll like tell him like how to make the cure, and then she's like, well, and now you're gonna forget it. And she tortures him all over again. So he just has like no idea who he is, and he just randomly has periods of lucidity where he remembers that he's going to be tortured.
And then there's Jonathan.
Who, you know, the councilwoman has made him do some horrible shit. I think he kind of remembers some of the horrible shit he's done. He just does not want to do horrible things anymore, so he kind of loses his mind at the end and just like runs around trying to protect Nadia's sister Lilia.
I couldn't figure out how old he was.
I couldn't either.
Because it's like, oh, he's into your sister, and that's kind of creepy, and so I'm like, how old is he?
He's at least done one forgetting, and he was probably at least a teenager during that forgetting. So he's older, but possibly not a grandfather.
So Nadia takes on the councilwoman and then tries to get everyone into an area where they won't be infected. Like
A
if they
hermetically sealed room where the pollen won't get them. The one thing though that I was laughing at though is like before they figure out that it's the trees, Nadia's like, oh, blah 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 blah, the forgetting trees. I'm like, it's the fucking trees.
It's the trees, yeah. It's like, oh, it's so obvious.
But she was not even talking about the blooming. She was just like, oh yeah, they're called the forgetting trees. I'm like, well, it's the fucking trees. Well, how much clearer do you need to be and name them for the forgetting trees?
Jonathan murders the councilwoman. They like have the cure. They give the cure to whoever wants it, and then the book ends with Nadia and Gray going over the wall to go and figure out more about this awesome planet they live on. Yay!
You had a bigger problem with Nadia than I did.
Yeah, like, okay, she's capable. I like that, but she's so far removed, it drove me crazy. They're always talking about, oh, you know, she very rarely talks. She very rarely talks to her family. Oh, at one point she's like, this is the longest sentence I have said to my family in a long time. And as someone who is very introverted, I know that doesn't come across on camera, it's not accurate. It just drove me nuts. Because it just felt like was put in place to like cause some tension and to drag out the romance. Like, you know, the whole like, I don't trust him.
I didn't mind it so much. I was just kind of like it didn't strike me so much. I'm like, she's like, because sometimes she'll be like, oh, wait, I didn't say that out loud. Shit.
See, that's normal. But people will be talking to her and she'll just be like, no. Like, she won't even respond. And she's telling you that they're talking to you, and she's giving a commentary about the person who's saying it to, so you know she hears them. And it's just like, I'm not gracing you with the response. That's the kind of stuff that bugged me. So yeah, it's good. I mean...
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
There are parts I really liked. Some of it was just like, okay. Most people are going to enjoy reading it.
Yeah.
It's not an awful book. It's fairly well written. One of the comments I saw most online is people who have read her other stuff, and they're like, this is good. If you compare it to the stuff she did before, it's middling at best. So keep that in mind if you're reading it as well. I have not read her other stuff, neither have you, so can't comment on that. But interesting book, great concepts, great ideas, and I think
purple.
Yeah, I think you'll like it. Bye, guys.